Hello. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. So, today's webinar we're going to just look like an outlook. We're going to look at an outlook of certain symbols. We want to look at the natural gas and also the Brent oil. We would like to see exactly where we expect this chart to be by the end of the week or possibly by the end of the month. So, we are basically just doing some analysis to determine exactly what we expect to be happening this month. So we'll start off with Brent oil. We'll start off with Brent oil. I already have it on my screen, and we're going to start off with the weekly chart, which is here. So if you check the weekly chart correctly, you may not be able to see exactly the overall picture unless you start drawing the lines correctly. So you may not be able to see whatever I'm saying unless you draw the lines the way they're supposed to be drawn first of all. So the first thing here, we are going to draw our levels, and then we want to see whatever we expect to be happening with those lines. Let's start off here. This is monthly, sorry. So we have a trend line which runs all the way from this point up to this point there, and then we also have a trend line which runs from this point like that, up to this point. So if you look at this chart from the monthly chart, you can see that we were upwards before. The price was upwards. There was this slight correction. It continued up. It came back. It corrected itself again upwards, and then it came back down. It continued up, down, up, the same place. So the resistance at the top is actually protecting price from breaking to the upper side. We have a resistance here which appears to be holding properly. We have a resistance here which is holding. We have a resistance. We have a resistance. And then we have a resistance. So as you can see, the price used it in the past. It was used again. It was used again. So basically, if you were to look at this chart from the long term possible, you can see that we expect price to come to this point, bounce off from that point, then head straight to the lower side. This is what could happen. If the price comes up to this point here, this is the correct place we want to sell from, which means we still expect some movements on the monthly chart to push price upwards up to this level. Then we also have this. We also have a level here. This is just some support. We have a support. We have a support. There's this break above. What that means is we expect price to continue up. We want it to move up and possibly break above 53.79 so that we continue up to the resistance that we are seeing. So if you're on this chart now, you actually are supposed to be expecting price to move in that direction. So we expect price to keep moving to the upper side. We want price to, at least if it's to continue upwards, it must first of all break beyond 53.79. If the price is indeed to continue upwards, then it must break above 53.79. That's what will give a confirmation that we are indeed continuing to the upper side. So as it is now, small movements expected to the upper side. We expect price to continue rapidly to the upper side. We have this here. This was another trend line. These are two places where this was as a support here. We had a support. So if the price could have gone beyond this level, that could have been a good place to sell from. But since the price bounced off, we expect it to continue to the upper side. So Brent oil on the monthly chart this is exactly what we expect to be happening. We still expect some movements to the upper side. That's the truth. Brent oil on the monthly chart, we still expect price to move steadily to the upper side. This is what we expect as of now. So the next chart, the same chart on a lesser time frame. Let's see what we have on the weekly chart. And the weekly chart, almost the same thing. The same thing. So on the weekly chart, this is the level we are looking at. We want price to come back up to that point. So the same zone which you had on the monthly is the same zone which you're now seeing being active on the weekly. So should the price come back up to this zone, then two things are possible. The price may likely break beyond this level, especially if it goes above 53.09. If it goes above, that would mean we are continuing upwards. If it does not break beyond this zone, then that would mean we are possibly still sellers. So we are basically just waiting to see whatever will happen. If the price goes above, we are upwards. If it bounces off from this point, we'll see a move to the lower side. So we have this. So we have this one. Here is another level. Yeah. We have this here. Here. This break to the last side. This resistance. And as it is now, if the price should go beyond 53.09, then we do expect it to continue to the line which I've just drawn, the one at the top. So that's what we're waiting for. We want price to let it give us the correct place to look for a trade. So if it goes above 53.09, that would mean we are upwards. If it does not break above, then that would mean we are now heading to the lower side. So the next chart, the same chart on a lesser time frame, daily chart, this as shape looks like the price is consolidating, but in a manner that we are easily able to understand. We have this here. You can see that there's this big move up, and then the price remained confined in a resistance. I mean, within this shape, it remained for some times. So what we want to happen now is for price to break beyond the upper trend line, retrace back, and then continue to the upper side. That is what could happen. If the price ascends above the upper trend line, then we'll simply be waiting for a pullback so that we continue looking for a buy position. That's what we want to be happening. As it is now, let's see exactly what we expect to be happening, because we want price to break beyond, retrace back, and then continue to the upside, which means we are not going to do anything unless the price breaks above. Is that clear? That we are not going to do anything, you're not going to touch any button, no entering any trade, unless the price successfully closes above the upper trend line. And even then, we'll simply wait for price to retrace back so that we can pick a low risk buy position. So if you buy it after the breakout above, that's if you buy after the price is broken above, retrace back, your stop loss should be below this low. That's the correct place where you should have your stop loss. So we are not going to buy anything unless the price goes above, retraces back. That's when we're going to look for a buy position. The next chart we'll look at natural gas. So this is how the natural gas looks. There's no much data on this one. Let's see if you can get more information. There's no much information on this one, but the information you have you can use properly. We have this. So before even I talk about this, you can see that this is like a morning star formation, and what it means is we've reversed to the upper side. This is the meaning of this candle. When you see this candle anywhere, just know that we've possibly reversed to a given direction. So if this happens, when you see that the price has gone down, then this formation happens. That's a candle which has it has something like this, a red candle, then there's an inside candle, and then there's the next candle, which is now the opposite. The two is actually bigger than the first red candle. This is known as the morning star, and what it means is we are still in that direction. So this means we are still up. So we recommend you keep looking for buy positions, keep looking for buy orders. Although the overall trend is downwards, but if this setup shows up, that means we are downwards. So the best, we are upwards. If you have to sell it, you have to wait for price to go below the same setup. That is, the price must break below this setup. If the price is indeed to continue downwards, then we want to see price break below 1.663. The correct place where the price needs to break below is this level. That's the only time that we will be able to confirm that we are continuing downwards. As it is now, we are, for some reasons, I still recommend looking for buy positions. I expect that buy to take us even higher. So I expect that buy to take us even higher, up to somewhere around this level here. This is the support which you had previously. We had a support, the old place of support, and then there was a break below, there was a retracement. So this was a good sell. This was a very good sell. If you're on this chart and you saw price breaking below this point, this was the correct place you could have sold from. So when the price comes back to this place here, still that would be the next best place where we want to sell from. So there's no rush for anything. We basically just want price to get to a key level, then we look for a trade when the price hits that level. The next chart, the same chart on the lesser time frame, we are not going to remove this. We will adjust it slightly like this. Sorry, this is the correct place to adjust it to. We have the long. This looks much better. We had a support, and then on the upper side, I have this. So we have a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance, a resistance. Those this break, those again to the last side. Then we had a support, support before the price eventually went downwards. So on this chart, we are not only looking for price around 2.654, but we are also looking for price around 2.076. If the price hits any of this level, that if the price hits this level here, or the one at the bottom, we look for a trade. So if the price comes and hits this point, we look for a trade. That's if the price retraces back up to this point, we'll be looking for a sell. If it continues up to the next level, which is this, still we'll be looking for a trade. Those are the only two levels on the weekly chart that we want price to come up to. When the price hits those levels, then we're going to look for a trade. So now the same chart on the daily chart, let's see what we have. We have the same level, almost the same level, but there's some this looks like a shape. You can see that we had a resistance, we had a resistance, there was this break, there was a retracement, this became the support. So we want price to pull back up to this point. It should come back up to the same place so that we pick a buy position. But as it is now, you can see the formation which we mentioned on the daily, this formation here. What it means is we are still upwards. It's always a very good reversal sign. It implies that the price may likely be reversing in that direction. It's the same formation as this one. This is the opposite of this one. If the current candle closes the way this one is, then that will be the ideal place where we want to sell from. So let's see what we have on the same chart, maybe on the 4-hour time frame. So this is what we have on the 4 hours. We have this one here. This is like a trend line. It was used previously, it was used again, which means this is the correct place where we want to buy from. So if the price can come back, we'll delete this. This is a basis on the daily chart, but not on the 4 hours. If the price comes back to this trend line, then this should be the ideal place where you want to trade from. But as it is now, there's also a line from the top. So we have a resistance. We want price to break above, retrace back, and then continue in that direction. So thank you very much. That should be the end of today's session. We'll meet again next week at the center. So thank you. See you.